Warmest greetings to all my incredible subscribers and new viewers alike. Welcome, everyone, to our latest video where we'll be exploring Fanny Eaton. Fanny Eaton, 23 June 1835 – March 1924, was a Jamaican-born artist, model and domestic worker. She is best known as a model for the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood and their circle in England between 1859 and 1867. Her public debut was in Simeon Solomon's painting The Mother of Moses, which was exhibited at the Royal Academy in 1860. She was also featured in works by Dante Gabriel Rossetti, Everett Millais, Joanna Mary Boyce, Rebecca Solomon, and others. In this segment, we'll be unraveling the complexities of early life and exploring its multifaceted nature. Eaton was born Fanny Entwistle or Entwistle on 23 June 1835 in St. Andrew Parish, Jamaica, just 10 months following the 1 August 1834 enactment of the abolition of slavery throughout the British Empire. It is speculated that her mother, Matilda Foster, a woman of African descent, was born into slavery on the Elm estate in Street Elizabeth Parish, property of the Foster or Forster family. No father was named on Eaton's birth records, suggesting that she may have been illegitimate. The death of a British soldier named James Entwistle, aged 20, in nearby Street Calthan's parish burial in Spanish Town on 4 July 1835, 11 days after Fanny's birth, has been seen as suggestive that this soldier may have been Fanny's father. Eaton and her mother made their way to England sometime in the years. By 1851 she is recorded as living in London, at 9 Stephen's Place, Street Pancras, with her mother, and working as a domestic servant. In 1857 she married James Eaton, a horse cab proprietor and driver, who was born on 17 February 1838 in Shoreditch. Together, they had 10 children, born in the years 1858–1879. Without wasting any more time, let's jump into the fascinating world of early work at the Royal Academy of Arts. It was during this period of Fanny Eaton's life as mother and new wife that she began modelling, both for the Royal Academy of Arts School of Painting, where she was paid 5 shillings for each modelling session, with her maximum recorded schedule reaching 3 sessions in a single day for the Pre-Raphaelites, and for other less well-known artists of the period. Her distinctive features were used by artists to portray a variety of ethnicities and characters. The earliest studies done of her are a coloured sketch by Walter Fryer Stocks and a series of portrait sketches by Simeon Solomon in 1859. These latter sketches were evidently used as preparation for Solomon's Mother of Moses, now in the collection of the Delaware Art Museum. 2 specific sketches from this series depicted Eaton as the biblical figures Jochebed and Miriam. The finished painting was shown at the Royal Academy in 1860 exhibition. Now let's shift our perspective and explore muse for the Pre-Raphaelites through a fresh lens, unlocking new perspectives. Simeon Solomon was from a noted family of painters. His sister, Rebecca Solomon, also painted Eaton during this period. Rebecca, who studied with Everett Millais, may have provided Eaton's link to artists in the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, but this is speculation. In 1865, Dante Gabriel Rossetti employed Eaton to pose for the figure of one of the bridesmaids in his painting The Beloved. Rossetti further produced at least one other portrait sketch. See 1865, Iris and B. Gerald Cantor Center for Visual Arts at Stanford University. Eaton also modelled for other artists in the Solomon's circle of friends, including William Blake Richmond and Albert Joseph Morthes. Include Richmond's painting The Slave 1886, found in Tate's collection, and recently identified as another artwork in which Eaton worked as the model. Eaton appears in a black chalk drawing by Rossetti, now in the Cantor Arts Center at Stanford University in California. The painting Jeffer 1867 by Everett Millais shows Eaton standing in the upper right-hand side of the canvas. 1867 is believed to be the latest date at which Eaton was actively working as a model. It is not known why she discontinued this work, whether she decided to quit or if her services in this field were no longer in demand. Get ready for an exciting part as we dive into widowhood. By 1881, Eaton had been widowed and was working as a seamstress. In the final years of her life, Eaton worked as a domestic cook on the Isle of Wight for a Portsea-based wine merchant and his wife, John and Fanny Hall. By 1911, however, Fanny is said to be residing with family in Hammersmith with her daughter Julia, son-in-law Thomas Powell, and grandchildren Baden and Connie Powell. After a long life as a working-class immigrant, Fanny and Twistle Eaton died in Acton-on-Fell March 1924 at the age of 88 from senile decay and syncope. She is buried in Margravine Road Cemetery in Hammersmith. In the upcoming section, we'll be dissecting legacy and exploring its intricate connections to our topic. The first exhibition entirely focused on depictions of black people in British Victorian art. Black Victorians, Black People in British Art 1800-1900, opened in Manchester in 2005. The mesmerizing Fanny Eaton paintings were accorded a prominent place, with Albert Joseph Moore's Mother of Sisera and Rossetti's The Beloved on display. Reviewers responded with the 21st century disquietude to the viewing of these paintings, particularly Rossetti's depiction of Eaton. She is an object, not a subject. Another critic pointed out that Rossetti's painting, inspired by the Song of Solomon, is Anglocentric. The issue is not simply that the dark-skinned attendants are shown in a subservient role, it is that the central figure who Rossetti depicts as white should be black, as the beloved in Song of Solomon is described as black and beautiful. A Victorian critic, who had written these words in 1867, was quoted, "A black is eminently picturesque, his colour can be turned to good account in picture-making." The prevailing reaction to the exhibition appears to have been alarm at the exploitation that had taken place in Fanny Eaton's times. These observations complicate Eaton's legacy. Of Eaton's own opinions regarding either her work or legacy, nothing is known. The researches to retrieve her life story were initiated late in the 20th century. Exciting new depictions of the Jamaican-born woman have been uncovered and catalogued over the past decades, but Eaton herself is not known to have left letters or writing behind, and there are no known contemporary accounts of her opinions or conversations. Many of her biographies make statements along the following lines: her decision to model was driven by the need to support her family. While this seems likely, in actuality, Eaton's motivations remain unknown. The 2019 Pre-Raphaelite Sisters exhibition at the National Portrait Gallery in London marked a further step in Fanny Eaton's legacy. Here she is described as having, through her marital status, escaped a crossover role as a lover, though enjoyed some success as a model. As of 2020, Eaton is celebrated for her position as an artistic muse and Victorian Britain's most visible woman of colour. Get ready to uncover the mysteries surrounding commemoration as we navigate its intriguing terrain. In 2018, in celebration of the 100th anniversary of women's right to vote, The Voice newspaper listed Eaton alongside Kathleen Russell, Olive Morris, Connie Mark, Diane Abbott, Lillian Badder, Margaret Busby, and Mary Seacole among 8 black women who have contributed to the development of Britain in October 2019 to January 2020. She was one of 12 women included in the Pre-Raphaelite Sisters exhibition at London's National Portrait Gallery in 26 April 2020. An art history short about her featured in the programme hosted by BBC Radio 1 film critic Ollie Plum, Get Animated. Introducing BBC Arts and also on BBC New Creative's website to mark Black History Month in October 2020, Prima magazine named Eaton as one of 6 black British women together with Margaret Busby, Claudia Jones, Mary Prince, Lillian Badder and Olive Morris who changed the world. On 15 October 2020, poet Moz Hedgehog performed a poem about Eaton as part of BBC Blue Peter's Black History Month poetry segment on 18 November 2020. She was commemorated with a Google Doodle as part of its Black History Month programme in October 2022. Queen's Park Community Council staged Out of the Picture, a one-woman show telling the story of Eaton's life. Written by art historian Angela Bolger, who co-directed with the actress Faith Tingle Bartoli. The show starred actor Sammy DeMeo and featured digital prints of paintings featuring Eaton which had been licensed by their current owners. As we progress through this video, let's shift our attention towards Joanna Boyce Wells and uncover its hidden depths. Joanna Boyce Wells, Fanny Eaton, 1861, oils, bust-length portrait. Yale Center for British Art, sketches of Fanny Eaton, 1861, pages in Artist's Sketchbook. British Museum. Brace yourself for a captivating discussion on John Everett Millais as we explore its nuances and implications. Parables of Our Lord, The Pearl of Great Price, 1860, ink drawing with some watercolor wash, biblical scene. Eaton appears as a youthful Levantin. British Museum, Jeffer, 1867, biblical scene in oils. Eaton, at rear right, wears the dress of a household servant. National Museum of Wales. As we enter this new chapter, let's navigate the complexities of Albert Moore and unravel its multifaceted nature. Mother of Sisera, 1861, biblical portrait in oils. Eaton, in a rich collar necklace, models the mother of Sisera, commander of the Canaanite army. Tully House Museum and Art Gallery, study of Fanny Eaton, seated, wash and graphite. National Gallery of Canada, Ottawa. In the upcoming section, we'll be dissecting Dante Gabriel Rossetti and exploring its intricate connections to our topic. Study of a Young Woman, 1863-1865, study drawing of head in black chalk and charcoal. Cantor Arts Center, Stanford University, The Beloved, 1865, biblical scene in oils. Eaton is portrayed as a bridesmaid to the bride in the Song of Songs. Now, we shift our focus to Frederick Sandys, a topic that deserves our attention. Study of the head of a young mulatto woman, full face, c. 1859, study drawing of head in black and red chalk. Art Gallery, NSW, study of Fanny Eaton, seen in profile to left, 1860, study drawing in black, red and white chalk, on buff paper. British Museum. Study for the head of Morgan Le Fay, 1862, study drawing of head in pencil and red chalk, Eaton in the character of Morgan Le Fay. Victoria and Albert Museum. With that being said, let's now move on to Rebecca Solomon. A young teacher, 1860, genre scene in oils. Eaton is portrayed as an Indian house servant. Princeton University Art Museum. In this segment, we'll be unraveling the complexities of Simeon Solomon and exploring its multifaceted nature. Portrait of Mrs. Fanny Eaton, 1859, study drawing of head. Fitzwilliam Museum, portrait of Mrs. Fanny Eaton, profile left, 1859, study drawing of head. Fitzwilliam Museum, portrait of Fanny Eaton, 1860, study drawing of head. Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Mother of Moses, c. 1860, biblical scene in oils. Eaton appears as the Levantin figures of Jochebed and Miriam. Delaware Art Museum. With the foundation laid, let's embark on a journey into Walter Fryer Stocks. Portrait of Mrs. Fanny Eaton, 1860, study drawing of head and shoulders in black, red, and white chalk. Princeton University Art Museum. Let's now shift gears and explore William Blake Richmond through a critical lens, uncovering its strengths and weaknesses. William Blake Richmond's Slave, 1886, genre scene in oils of 2022. The date, uncertain subject matter, and current state of the research have not definitively confirmed this as a portrait of Fanny Eaton or members of her family. Tate Gallery. Leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this video.